All right, hello everybody. Happy Friday. It is 8:32 right now as we record this. Wanted to give you an update on the temperature forecast for today as our strong cold front has now completely cleared central Texas. So it's been one of those mornings where we were here on daybreak just watching the temperature fall. When I came in this morning around 3 a.m. it was in the low 60s. Now, as you can see, it is 41 right now in Austin. So 42 at the airport, Cedar Creek 43. We're going to spend basically the rest of the day today in the 40s and 30s. In fact, by the time we get to mid to late afternoon, I think it's mainly mid 30s to low 40s with a brisk north wind making it feel even colder. By the way, as everybody tunes in, I see Martha and Sam Marcus, Sandra's watching. We got all sorts of folks. Let me know where you're watching from. Gerald tuning in. Hey, Gilbert. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'll keep an eye on the comments, and we'll try and get everything answered for you guys. All the way down to LaGrange, it is now 47. Now, the good news today, actually two pieces of good news. There's not a ton of moisture with this system to begin with. So most of any precipitation we see today is going to be just cold, light rain showers. But Mason right now is at 31, which means if there were to be any showers moving through Mason right now, then there could be some light freezing rain or maybe a few sleet pellets in there. So we are watching that potential, low potential across the hill country, but no travel impacts or anything like that today. Worst case scenario would be a little bit of light icing on elevated metal surfaces, so like road signs and handrails and stuff like that. But mostly this is just cold weather moving in and windy weather. It is gusting to 21 right now in Austin. Georgetown is gusting to 26. And you know what? I think these numbers are going to ramp up through the day today. So the windiest weather is probably going to be mid to late afternoon when we'll have widespread 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gust. And with those type of numbers, no surprise, we have a wind advisory that's been issued for today. This is going to go until midnight. Wind gusts as high as 45 will be possible. I think 30 to 40 is going to be widespread. A few areas could exceed that and get up close to 45 miles per hour. So falling temperatures, breezy winds. Yeah, it feels like today. That's going to be kind of brutal. Already feels like 36 in Austin. Feels like 23 right now in Llano. So go ahead and plan on the rest of the day today. It's going to probably feel like, mid 30s down to the 20s. So just one of those Fridays where it's going to be kind of a raw winter-like day. We've got some light rain out there in spots. It's windy. Temperatures are falling. It's just going to be that kind of day today. Okay, let me show you the radar. Check and see if we have any questions. Amy's watching in South Austin. Felicia's in San Antonio. Sam Marcus tuning in. Crystal's in Bee Cave. Hey, everybody. Looks like no questions right now, so we'll just keep rolling through here. This is our 1 hour loop. Let's actually here, we'll pause it. It is, again, 41 in Austin. I'm going to go to just the plain old radar. Not a ton of rain out there. Had a few showers that were a bit more widespread earlier. Now looks like some of that has kind of fizzled. So we're mainly watching across the hill country where there's a few showers right now out around Llano County, Burnett County, northern Gillespie County. Again, I think mainly cold rain, but you see a little bit of pink showing up there. So, Mason's below freezing. There could be some light freezing rain or maybe a few sleet pellets. And by the way, if any of you guys live out in this area, let me know what you're seeing. But again, any sort of wintry precipitation that we could see today is not going to cause travel issues. The more widespread issues with wintry precipitation, I mean, you can see the setup here. That's going to be north of here, up towards Temple and then up getting close into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. They have winter weather advisories issued for North Texas, but that's not going to be a big issue for us today. Okay, I'll walk you through it. We'll go just a few hours at a time. Stella watching in Austin. Rebecca's in Cleveland. Shannon watching from Elgin. Sandra's in Pflugerville. Hopefully everybody's got a nice warm cup of coffee this morning or a blanket. I mean, I know it's a Friday. A lot of us got to go to work. But today's just a great day to spend indoors if you can. So here's 10 a.m. We have scattered light showers, some light drizzle out there. Austin falls down to 39 by 10. Across the hill country, again, any of those little showers could have a little sleet in it, maybe a little light freezing rain if the air temperature is able to get down below freezing at the surface, but no sort of major issues from that. We go into 4 p.m. Here, let me backtrack that. That was a little fast. Here's noon. All this activity is going to gradually push eastward. Okay, so by 4 o'clock, almost all the rain's out of here. We're hovering in the mid-30s to low 40s. And then watch this. As we go into the evening, it's not just the rain that's moving out. the cloud cover is moving out. So I think you guys know where this is going. When you get a clear sky like that and you got cold air being blown in, this is going to be a really cold March night with a widespread late season freeze expected. We'll go down to 29 in Austin. I had to nudge my number down a little bit more. I was looking at some of the new model data coming in this morning, and it was even colder. So I've got us at 29 tomorrow morning. I think mid and upper 20s will be widespread. The coldest spots, especially west into the hill country, will likely get a hard freeze. Several hours, low to mid 20s. Some of our models are even printing out a few upper teens for places like Mason, down around 19 degrees. So I know we're getting into springtime. People are trying to do gardens, trying to plant stuff. Just make sure you take the proper precautions if you have done any of that planting. But again, we've been saying all week, hey, maybe hold off on that with this cold weather coming. Okay, so we talked precipitation, we talked temperatures. Let's talk about winds now, which is kind of the third and final aspect of this forecast. It's already breezy, gusting 20 to 30. Here's 4 p.m. I think we'll have a lot of 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gust, and within that, there could be some spots that are 35 to 45 miles per hour. So just a brisk, cold, winter-like day. This obviously is going to translate to some pretty chilly feels like temperatures. And the more that I look at this model, I think these feels likes are probably a little warm. It already feels like 36 right now in Austin, so we'll feel probably like low 30s, if not 20s, through a lot of this afternoon. And then although the wind's going to start to die down tonight, there's going to be enough of a wind, and it's already going to be really cold that feels likes are going to be across the board in the 20s and teens as we wake up on Saturday. Okay, let me find the weekend forecast for you. I know we're talking about cold winter-like weather today, but it's not all bad news. There's a lot going on this weekend, obviously, with the start of South by. Saturday and Sunday, not looking too bad. I'll just pull up the 7-day forecast. I will take this full for you. So again, it's going to be really cold tomorrow morning, 29 in Austin with a widespread freeze. The afternoon though, yeah, it's cool, but sunny and 58 is not too bad. So again, if you've got South by plans or anything, yeah, that's going to be okay. Just cool, bring the jacket. A light freeze is possible Sunday morning. I have Austin at 33. I think that Mabry in the city might stay just a smidge above freezing, but a good chunk of us will see at least a light freeze for Sunday morning, especially across the hill country. But Sunday afternoon, back to a south wind, so we go up to 67 for the afternoon high on Sunday. By Monday, we're around 81 degrees. So this is just kind of a quick return to winter. Next week as a whole is looking warm, and I will say that I do not have any additional freezing temperatures in our forecast once we get through this weekend. So I don't want to jinx it. Fingers crossed. Maybe this could be the last one for the season, especially for Mabry and Austin. But we're looking at 81 by Monday. We'll get a weak cold front that moves through Monday night. Some of the models are saying maybe there could be a storm, especially east of here, late Monday into Monday night. But I think we're going to be primarily dry with that one. And that one's only going to cool us down to the mid and upper 70s for the middle of next week. So again, winter forecast, that's mainly just for today and tomorrow. And then by Sunday, we already start to see big improvements. All right, let me see if there's any questions. I got the current numbers pulled back up. We continue to drop. I mean, it's already 36 right now in Leander and Cedar Park. Tina says, somebody should have told Mother Nature that it is spring break. I agree. But I know a lot of people have spring break going on next week. Next week's forecast is much, much warmer. We're going to be in the 70s and low 80s for next week. So if you have spring break off next week, you're looking better. Getting windy and cold in Del Valle. Yeah, that's going to be the case all across central Texas. How long should we expect the cold weather to linger around? Again, not that long. Today's going to be cold. Tomorrow morning is going to be cold. Tomorrow afternoon, not the worst day ever. It's going to be sunny and it will be cool in the mid and upper 50s. Sunday morning, a light freeze is possible, but then by Sunday afternoon, I think any sort of cold weather is kind of done for a while. And all of next week is looking pretty warm. Joseph is watching from North Austin. Looks like we got all the questions answered here. By the way, it's pinned in the comments here. We've got a full write-up and everything on KVUE.com and on our KVUE app. So if you would prefer to just read through everything, all of that is freshly updated this morning. So yeah, that should have you covered. We got one final cut-in coming up in about 15 minutes. And then meteorologist Shane Hinton will be in with our midday show, and he'll have you covered at 5 and 6, and Erica will be in at 10 o'clock tonight. All right, so I know people kind of come and go. We'll go through this one more time. and then we will let you go, and hopefully you have someplace warm to hang out on this Friday. But take a seat. Standing a lot this morning. All right, it is 41 in Austin right now. When I got in this morning, it was 62. So we've fallen nearly 20 degrees just in the past several hours, and many areas will continue to fall. It is the only site that we have that's below freezing is Mason. So again, like I've been talking about, there's not a ton of precipitation with this system to begin with. Any of it that does fall will just about all be cold rain. But for the coldest spots in the hill country, especially around Mason right now, if there were to be any showers that move through, there could be some very light freezing rain or maybe a sleet pellet or two. I've been watching on the radar, and I've been looking for reports. I've not seen any reports of that here in Central Texas. But if you have any reports, let me know. Either way, we're not expecting any sort of travel issues from wintry precipitation today across Central Texas. You know, for more snow and ice and that stuff, you got to go up to North Texas and into Oklahoma. It is windy. It is gusting to 21 right now in Austin. It's gusting to 26. Let's actually, I'm going to pull up our sky cam. Let's see if we can get downtown. Yeah, that's what it looks like right now downtown. The flags on the Capitol grounds obviously blowing in that brisk wind. So it already feels like 36 in Austin. It feels like the 20s. Man, it feels like 22 right now in Fredericksburg. It's brutal. And we're going to stay with feels like temperatures in the 20s and 30s through the rest of this afternoon. A wind advisory is in effect through midnight. It'll go into effect at noon through midnight. Wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. I think 30 to 35 is going to be widespread. There could be some 35 to 45, but you know, either way, it's going to be very, very windy today. Here's our radar. We'll take the temperatures off. Austin right now is dry, not a ton going on. And again, there's not, a massive amount of rain that's coming in with this system. But we're watching across the hill country out here around Llano, especially south of town, parts of Gillespie County, around Harper and Doss. A little pink out there, so maybe, last I saw, Fredericksburg was above freezing. So that would kind of prevent freezing rain, but maybe if you sleep pellets or, maybe a little freezing rain in there in spots if you get a drainage valley where the temperature's a little bit cooler, maybe a little bit of wintry precipitation out that way through this morning, but again, we're not expecting that this will amount to anything too widespread. Worst case scenario, in my mind, is maybe a little bit of light icing on elevated metal surfaces, like a flagpole, road signs, handrails, stuff like that. So let's walk through it. Here is 10 a.m. this morning. We've got some scattered light showers for some areas. Again, in the pink, there could be a little bit of freezing rain or some sleet across the hill country. Otherwise, it's cold rain showers that take us into lunchtime. By early afternoon, a lot of this stuff is moving out to the east, and by 3 or 4, I think we're mainly dry. And you know what? We may actually get a few breaks in the clouds already by the tail end of the afternoon. So you may, if you're lucky, may see a little bit of sunshine today. Otherwise, by this evening, cloud cover is moving out. It's going to be a cold, windy evening, so if you got Friday night plans, jacket weather for sure. Make sure you are dressed warmly. And then tonight's going to be our coldest weather. Let's actually... Here, I got another graphic that's got a few more towns on it. We'll go through the lows. Let me pull that up for you real quick. So here's our lows tonight. I'll take this full so everybody can see it. I know if you're watching on your phone, sometimes it's small. 28 for LaGrange tomorrow morning. Giddings will go down to 27. Smithville 28. Schulenburg 29. Rockdale around 27. I nudged us down a degree for Austin, so I think we'll be around 29 tomorrow morning. Late season freeze. We are several weeks past now the average date of the last freeze for Mabry at least. I think that we will get one of those late season freezes for Mabry even in the city. And then the coldest weather as you'd expect across the hill country where it will be a hard freeze tonight. 24 for Johnson City. Blanco, I've got you around 25. 21 for Llano. Could be as cold as the upper teens for Mason. Either way, it's going to be a hard freeze tonight for the hill country. So I know as we get into spring, people are starting to think about gardening and planting and stuff like that. So if you have any sensitive plants outdoors already, just make sure that you account to protect that with the cold weather coming in tonight. Okay, wind gusts. Let's talk about that. Here's 4 p.m. this afternoon. A lot of 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts. Within that, there could be some locally breezier spots that get up 35 to 40, maybe as high as 45 miles per hour. So it's going to be a really windy, just kind of windy, cold, raw type winter afternoon. So it feels like temperatures are going to really drop down to the 20s and 30s by this afternoon. Here's the wind tomorrow morning. Yeah, it's going to die down overnight. Let's go to like 8. That's not bad, but 5 to 15 mile per hour wind when temperatures are already in the 20s, just it's not going to make it feel any better outside. So it feels like low 30s and 20s by this afternoon. I think some of these numbers are probably a little warm, honestly. And then it feels like 20s and teens for tomorrow morning. Let's see. Allergy count today. Cedar was a little higher today in the medium. Other trees were in the medium. Grass was low. Mold was low. We'll see what happens with this breezy north wind. We're getting into the tail end of cedar season. If this was 3 weeks ago, I would say, 30 mile per hour wind out of the northwest. That's going to blow in a lot of cedar. We'll see what happens this weekend as we get into the very last couple of days of this, hopefully. All right, we'll take this full. Here's our 7-day. We will continue to drop through the afternoon. So by the time we get to 4 o'clock, I think our temperature will be 38 in Austin. So if you look back in the record books, 38 is not going to be the high, but 38 is what I think will be in the afternoon. So I'm going to put that in the 7-day. Showers are going to move out by early and mid-afternoon. Tonight is mostly clear and really cold, down to 29. Tomorrow afternoon is not bad. So again, this is kind of a quick cool down. 58 and sunny. I mean, it's cool, certainly for March standards, but we've had worse days. A light freeze is possible Sunday morning at 33. 20s will be possible across the hill country. Austin may stay just above freezing. And then 67 by Sunday as we have a south wind back. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Give it a day or two of winter. And then next week's going to be in the low 70s or the low 80s or mid and upper 70s. So much warmer weather is back in the forecast for next week. Okay, I think that is everything. Hang on for one more second. If you got any last questions, fire away. If not, I will let you go. Again, pinned in the comments, we have a link to the full forecast blog on our website and on our app. Just updated that like 20 minutes ago, so it's freshly updated. It's got all the latest info if you just prefer to sit down and read it. We've got one last cut-in coming up at 8:55, and then wait another hour or two, and then Shane will be in with the full forecast at midday, and he'll have your 5 and 6 o'clock as well. Cool. Think that's going to do it. All right, I will let y'all go. Again, you can catch us on KVUE here in about 6 minutes, and we'll give you one final update on this. Again, bottom line is it's just going to be a cold and windy afternoon, maybe a little bit of light wintry precip across the hill country, but not expecting any travel issues. The main deal for us is just a widespread freeze that we have in the forecast for tomorrow morning, including a hard freeze across the hill country. All right, I will let y'all go. Have a fantastic afternoon, and we will talk to you all next week.